There's plenty of exotic armour pieces in the game which can enhance your playstyle and make the game a load more fun. Whether you find these armour pieces out there in the wild or pick them up from the weekly vendor Zur, they're ready to enhance that power fantasy element of Destiny 2. So the following is a guide for the best exotic armour for Titans in PVE. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell to turn on notifications and share it with a friend. Exotic armour looks unique and enhances elements of your Titan, be it through exploding grenades, enhancing your melee, or making your super last longer. It all adds up to causing more destruction as you travel around the solar system, whether you're doing a quest, story mission, or just farming a PvE activity like Escalation Protocol on Mars or Altars of Sorrow on the Moon. There are a few ways that you can get exotic armour. Some are handed out through the story campaign missions. Fang pauldrons is a good example of this in the Red War campaign. Or you can find them out there in the wild as random drops. This used to be a very small chance, although drop rate appears to have gotten better since the Shadowkeep DLC dropped. You can of course also buy exotic armour pieces from Zur every weekend, as he arrives at reset time on Friday and hangs around until Tuesday. This is probably the most reliable way to pick up exotic armour, as he sells one piece per class each week. So if you're missing something, make sure you check out his inventory each time he comes around. He's in various hidden locations, and a quick search on the internet and you'll find him. Just make sure you're fully stocked up on legendary shards. With all the exotics I'm about to discuss, you can get them either from an exotic random world drop or pick them up from Zur at the weekends. Some you can get from campaign missions as rewards, and I'll indicate those where appropriate. So let's get into the list of the best exotic armour for Titans in PvE. First up, we've got Ashen Wake, and these gauntlets were originally introduced in Season 3 back in the Warmind DLC. The intrinsic perk here is Bring the Heat, where fusion grenades now explode on impact and gain increased throw speed. Final blows with fusion grenades also grant grenade energy. So this is great for a build where you want to spec around grenades, as final blows with fusion grenades grant grenade energy. As a bonus, if you have demolitionist weapons, then this further increases your capacity to regenerate grenades, turning you into a grenade machine. If you have any Ashes to Assets mods, then grenade kills can boost super energy generation too. Next up, we've got Hallow Fireheart, and this is a chess piece that was introduced in Season 1 right back at the very start of Destiny 2. Its intrinsic perk is Sunfire Furnace, which improves the recharge rate of your solar abilities, and it greatly improves recharge rate while your super is charged. This one grants a 75% recharge rate when your Hammerer's Soul super is charged, so this one is designed to pair with solar subclasses and works really well when Solar Singe is active for Nightfalls. It may be tempting to pop that super when it arrives, but save it to supercharge the grenade and you'll be taking out plenty of ads in no time. Next up, we've got Heart of Innermost Light, and this chess piece was originally introduced during Season 4, back when Forsaken first dropped. The intrinsic perk here is Overflowing Light, so using an ability, whether it be grenade, melee or barricade, that empowers the other two abilities. So empowered means the abilities have a faster regeneration, melees and grenades do more damage, and barricades have more hit points. This is a great all-round armour piece that promotes your use of abilities, so this one pairs well with something like Monte Carlo for melee damage and also 1-2 punch mods. Due to its versatility, you can use this with any subclass, so just pick the one you like best and give it a try. Next up, we've got Fang pauldron, and this was introduced back in Season 1 of Destiny 2, and you can pick this one up from the Red War campaign mission, Riptide. So it pairs great with the Sentinel subclass, and the intrinsic perk is Horns of Doom, so void melee kills give super energy. While Sentinel Shield is active, melee kills recharge the shield throw, which extends your super on hits. This is great for running around, bashing with the shield and increasing the duration of the super. It's not as strong as it once was, it was downright broken at one point, but if you like running around as a Sentinel like Captain America, then this is the exotic armour piece for you. Next up, we've got another old favourite with the Helm of St 14, and this is a classic armour piece that was introduced in Season 2 and also featured in Destiny 1. Modelled after its owner St 14, the intrinsic perk here is Starless Night, where enemies that enter the Ward of Dawn they're blinded, while allies that pass through gain an overshield. So guarding with Sentinel Shield blinds nearby enemies, and this is a great support exotic which your teammates will definitely thank you for having that overshield enabling bubble. This one is great for when you have to take down a big boss, so pop that bubble to one side, making sure you're not in the line of sight of your teammates trying to take out the boss. Fire team members will be granted that overshield and weapons of light, allowing for extra damage to help take down those big enemies quicker. Next up, we've got another classic, and it's Intercepts, and this is another one introduced back in Season 1, and these are great gauntlets that specifically boost your melee abilities. So if you want to be a classic Titan, roll around punching everything, then this is great fun. The intrinsic perk here is Biotic Enhancements, and that increases melee lunge range. So improve melee and super damage when you're surrounded. So the melee lunge range gets improved by about 50%, meaning everything is going to be in reach, and it's especially good when you're surrounded by enemies, as you get a 3 times boost in damage and super damage too. Next up, we've got quite a new one. This is Stronghold, and you may be a little bit surprised to see this so high up on the list, but Stronghold received a significant buff in Season of the Worthy. These gauntlets are specifically designed to be used in conjunction with swords, as swords got a major rework in update 2.8.0. So Bungie said Stronghold now maximises sword defense stats, resulting in high defense guard that does not lose guard energy on taking hits or decay over time. The armour retains its existing healing functionality. So this is great, meaning you can essentially have unlimited guard when you wear these Titan gloves. The intrinsic perk here is Clenched Fist, so maximises guard stats on equipped swords. Shots blocked immediately after guarding will heal you as well, so that is an extra bonus. These aren't paired with a particular subclass, just make sure you have a nice sword. I tend to roll around with the Menagerie sword called Throne Cleaver on my Titan, however Striker's Surehand from the Black Armory is a great option too. Next up, we've got Dune Marchers, and this is another Destiny 2 original released back in Season 1, but they've come into their own recently with a buff in Season of the Worthy. So again, Bungie said increase the radius of the static charge up to 20 meters, up from 12 meters. So the intrinsic perk here is Linear Actuators, increasing the sprint speed, and sprinting builds up a static charge. So after melee attacking an enemy, that charge will chain damage to nearby enemies. So these are great because you can run faster when these are equipped, which is always good, especially if you're a slow Titan like me. As you run around, you build up a static charge that can be unleashed with a swift melee to the face or a shoulder barge, and this one goes really well with the Striker subclass and Seismic Strike. Next up, we've got Actium Warrig, and this one wasn't high on my personal list until really recently. However, I got a couple of machine guns including Xenophage and Heir Apparent, and this makes the exotic really useful for clearing loads of enemies, with a case of Heir Apparent anyway, and doing some big damage with Xenophage. Still great with some auto rifles like Sweet Business, allowing you to shoot for a long time. Intrinsic perk here is Auto Loading Link, so steadily reloads a portion of your equipped auto rifles or machine guns magazine from the reserves. Actium Warrig reloads your auto rifle or machine gun whilst in your hands, and you can get this one from Riptide in the Red War campaign, or Exotic World Drops, and of course Xur at the weekends. If you haven't tried it with Heir Apparent or Xenophage, then definitely give this combination a go. Finally, we've got my favourite exotic armour piece for Titans in PVE, and it's Insurmountable Skullfall. So, I remember liking this one from Destiny 1 mainly because it looked cool, to be honest, but recently I found it super useful when it comes to clearing lots of smaller enemies. Intrinsic perk here is Transfusion Matrix, and kills with arc melee abilities trigger health regeneration and restore melee energy. So when running the Middle Tree Arc subclass, you can essentially run around, jump and smash from above and repeat over and over again, just make sure you get those kills. Melee kills restore all of your melee meter, meaning you can just run around and repeat that activity time and time again. Yep, it may be annoying for your non-Titan teammates, but you're going to clear a lot smaller enemies, and in something like Escalation Protocol, Blind Well, Altars of Sorrow or public events, Guardian games, this one is super valuable. Well, there's my list for the best exotic armour pieces for Titans in PvE. Let me know down in the comments which ones I've missed and which ones you're on the lookout for. Well, that's it for this guide for the best exotic armour for Titans in PvE. And as always, thank you so much for watching. For more Destiny 2 content like this, hit that subscribe button down below, subscribe to This Week in Video Games. If you want to be notified the next time I upload, then hit that bell button too. To join the community, check out the Discord link in the description, and you can follow me on Twitter at TWIVG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video and found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out these other videos on the channel. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon.